except one will have to do with listings. What is she doing on the one? Every meeting except one will focus on the listing.
Stats.
Stats!
So
Yay, you win. If you want to go ahead and write that down, it's November 1st. November 1st is stats. If you've never come to stats, you might want to. Jason sent me an email this week, said, when do we get stats? Well, Jason, the answer is I get to see them Monday. So I've got a lot of studying to do from Monday, Tuesday till November the 1st. What do you get out of stats?
It's a snapshot of what's been happening. It's a snapshot of the market.
A snapshot of the market. Why do you need that for your sellers?
In my case, it's a price reductions.
Price reduction?
Second quarter, I don't think tells the story anymore. So.
Oh, you think it's changed?
Yeah.
If you haven't ever been to stats, I would definitely make sure I attend stats presentation. It will make you virtually armed, dangerously powerful on a listing presentation to be able to present the stats. How many feel the market has changed since second quarter? And I chose a word to say. How many? Feel. You go in and you tell the seller, I believe, I feel the market's changing. They don't always believe that. So if you have numbers to back that up, then you are armed. You are armed. So November 1st, Rich got it right. Stats. Okay. We had a good lunch today. You haven't, go get lunch. And welcome to Home Warranty of America. Hey!
Stats here.
Stats will be here, thank you.
Hello, hello, and I've got a little giveaway, so if you'd like to put your business card in here, just pass it around and then we can draw. Good morning, I'm Karen DeOliveira with Home Warranty of America. If you're not familiar with Home Warranty of America, we are a strategic partner nationally with Keller Williams as well as here locally. We offer a 13-month home warranty for your clients as well as complimentary coverage for your sellers during the listing period. I put a little flyer in your seat. We're currently running a fall promotion. We have 3 great plans you can choose from. So with this promotion, you can upgrade to, for example, our Platinum plan. You can upgrade to the Diamond plan. Our Diamond plan, you can get it for the price of the Platinum. So after the meeting, if you have any questions, let me know. We've got some great discounts going on. We offer 3 plans, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. We also offer no caps on Freon, as well as rekey for the Platinum and Diamond plan. The rekey is up to 6 locks and 4 keys, so that's a great way when you're moving to a neighborhood to have them offer the Platinum or the Diamond plan. When you're writing your in the stipulations, make sure you specify which plan you would like. We also have military discount, $25, as well as payment plans. An option that we just added on in 2017 is an optional coverage they can add on to any of our plans. It's outside water line or sewer and septic line. That is a savings up to $5,000 of repairs. So think about that when you're talking to your homeowners. Make sure they look at the back of the brochure for the optional coverages. But just remember, if when they ask you, what does a home warranty cover, think peach. Plumbing, electrical, appliances, cooling, and heating. It's a great way for you to remember. I'm Karen DeOliveira, Home Warranty of America. Befriend me on Facebook. My brochures are in the office up front. If you'd like to have a one-on-one, down the road, just let me know. Thanks so much, and once that goes around, at the end we can draw for her total giveaway.
And you're supposed to say, I'm your peach.
I'm your peach.
There you go, man.
How many of you have ever heard that peach? I love that. I can remember that.
Yeah.
That was good.
Thank you.
Peach, I can remember
remember that.
How many have ever had a problem after closing with sewer lines going to the street only to discover those are not covered by most insurance companies?
And just I do a lot of the HWAs, and Karen even answers her phone on the weekends if you or your client have
Nice.
challenges. So
Thank you
just
for
an FYI.
doing that.
And what's that, basket comes back around?
Is the basket going around so you can,
That's
that's
right.
right there.
Okay, is it already done? Let me just draw real quick now, so let's just get this out of the way and let y'all get on.
Last chance. Anybody didn't get your card in? Okay, it's on you.
You got a card?
You got a card, okay.
Get up, honey. Let's go.
Alright, okay, and the lucky winner is Terrence Monroe.
She did shuffle.
She did shuffle.
She didn't even call me.
That's pretty awesome. Fun.
Better late than never.
CBC.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Hey, morning. Since we're using acronyms, does anybody know what CBC stands for? Can be closed. All right. Thank you for setting us up on the change opportunity, Robin. This time of the year, there is a lot of change normally, and it's normally a slowdown. We're not seeing a slowdown, and how we measure that in the bank is by the amount of locks that we're getting in for the next 30, 60, and 90 days. So based on that, we're up. But the change that we are seeing is that sellers are giving more concessions to their clients as far as repairs or price reductions in order to sell that house.
Are you all hearing that?
Yes.
They're having to do more in due diligence, the seller's having to cut.
Right, and we see that they are doing that because we see all the amendments on the contracts coming back and being changed. Okay, so, you know, with that, where you would have not seen that in the spring, you are seeing that now, all right? The other thing that you need to be cognizant of, if your client is the buyer and you're doing an amendment for repairs in lieu of certain price changes, if we see that those repairs need to be made prior to closing and has to be re-inspected. Okay, if inspection and your client and you are okay with it and something we don't see, then we don't have to go back out there and re-inspect that property. So we always encourage that if it's small and they're going to do it themselves, not to let us see it. If it's big, you definitely want to have it repaired because you know it's not going to be done after the closing, once the money
You have to
is
send the appraiser back out, or we have to
the
send our
appraiser
inspector
goes
back?
back, no, the appraiser goes back
To
out.
make sure the
show
work's been done. Got
done.
it.
That's right. If it's minor, the client can sign off on it and say, okay, I'm satisfied with the work that has been done. If it's major, they go back out to show that it has been done.
Cost-wise, what's minor, major?
You got roofs, you got air conditioning, you know, you got little things that you know are going to be done or it's not structural. That's something that could be done with the client saying, yes, we're satisfied.
Okay.
If it's major, you want to make sure the client was satisfied with the work.
Are we talking conventional law?
That's conventional, that's FHA, that's VA, that's anything. And FHA and VA government loans are going to be more stringent on what's going to be required in the appraisal. Inspection and appraisal are two different items. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, and they do home loans in Montana.
And they.
And Maine.
Yep, and Maine.
It's the M states.
Oh, 50.
They can do loan in all 50 states, so that's pretty awesome. Charlie.
Hey guys, I'm Charlie Pollard with William Cloud Heller. I'm a closing attorney. We only handle closings in Georgia right now.
Okay.
That's the way the law works. We focus on the peak state.
What's
One thing
peak
I want-
stand for?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember my phone number. 404-442-6604.
Someone's been practicing.
I do know my email address, charlie@mmhfirm.com, and I do want you guys to feel very comfortable calling me or emailing me anytime anything comes up, even if we're not handling the closing. So I'm in closings all the time, so I hear things anecdotally, and so something popped in my head. New construction. It's costing a little bit more, and it's taking a little bit longer right now. One fact that I saw to back that up is lumber prices are about their pre-housing bubble peak. There's a few factors that go into that, but in general, lumber costs more right now. And also, you have to think about the natural disasters that have occurred. So there's a lot of pull for labor down in Florida, which affects us here in Atlanta, but also in Texas. So there's a lot of work that's getting paid for there by insurance companies. So there's you can think if you're a handyman, you're a contractor, you might get more work down there and get paid more for it. So labor is a little more scarce now, and lumber's costing more. So if you've got builders or if you've got people looking at new construction or new construction in general, you have to think that right now is a time when it's costing a little bit more than it has in the past, and it's taking a little bit longer. And I've had people in closings talk about that lack of labor or harder to get people to call back. That's all I got today from the pulse of the real estate market from my perspective. I do want to remind people about our class that we have on Tuesday, and I know we had on Thursday, James, I think we had about 30 people, and from Bill, sounded like it went really well, so we're excited that so many people showed up and got a few hours of CLE for that. And then Tuesday is the second part of that here in this room at 9 o'clock, and it's going to be all about exhibits, so amendments to address concerns, HOA, who's paying for the closing letter, and all the things that get tied up in that. So and a whole host of other things that go on with just the exhibit. So hopefully you guys can find time to come in here next Tuesday. Yes, Tori.
So just for FYI, I was able to sit in about half of Phil's class, and it was fabulous. Even for somebody that understands the contract, there were still notes James and I were taking saying, I didn't know that. So get a handle on the exhibits, when he comes back into things.
Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock right here. Yeah, thanks, Tori. Appreciate that. Yeah, Bill has given that class several times, and he's always improving it and updating it. So it's really worth your time if you've got the time to stay here. So thank you.
Good, thank you, Charlie.
How many of you have given one of the closing gifts to your clients? To your co-oping agent? Thank you, Demetria. You are so my favorite.
My co-op agent was very appreciative. I walked in with a gift for my clients and a gift for her, and she was surprised. She thanked me at least 4 times. Oh, Demetria, thank you so much for this. She actually said she was about to go buy the book. So if you all don't know what's in the gift is the MREA. So she was really appreciative and surprised that I gave her something along with my phone. So they use
awesome.
it.
I'm just curious why you're not using that. It's done for you. All you have to do, you have to pay for it. Say no.
No.
How do you get it? You ask for it, you go to the front desk, and they will give it to you. What could be easier?
non-color Williams agent.
It's a non-color Williams agent that you think would be a good fit for our office. I trust your judgment. If they're not a good fit for our office, let me give away our book. I'm teasing. But if they are a very good co-op agent, they would probably be a good fit for our office.
Have you guys ever received a gift at closing from a co-op agent?
No.
Yes.
It feels really cool.
Yeah.
Like I remember all 3 instances where I've received a gift from the co-op agent. It feels warm and fuzzy, and I remember those people. This is not only a gift that you're giving to them, but it could return back as a gift of profit share to you down the road. So just think about that.
Yes.
Just want to make sure, so we're just giving these to agents and other brokers, not Keller Williams.
Correct.
Because my last 3 transactions are with Keller Williams agents.
That's a problem when you gain so much market share.
That's awesome too. The thing about it that you may not really think about, how many have heard of the name Ben Kinney? Do you think he does all right in real estate? Do you know how he came to this company? He was a cable guy. He actually pulled cable wires through the walls and hooked up cable for a market center out in Portland, Oregon. He was the cable guy. He worked for, let's say, Comcast. He worked for Comcast. He pulled cable, and on his way out, somebody gave him an MREA book. Do you think it changed his life? See, that's what you don't realize. These people are searching for the answer of how to do real estate well, and have that in that book. That's not just a gift that you're giving them for them. If they put some of those systems in practice, how could it change their business and thus their life? One thing I learned from Seth Campbell last week, I don't know if I learned it or if I recommitted to its purpose. Was anybody else touched by what he said about changing the legacies of his family?
Yes.
And the history of that. Do you think Ben Kinney's family's legacies changed?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. He grew up on a dirt floor, right? People giving them food or going without. I think his family legacy's changed, and he will contribute every bit of that to the Red Book that he's given. I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty awesome. So it's not just the gift that you give right then or the return that you might get back from it in profit share. It's the gift that might change them and their family's legacy. And that's a huge big blessing in and of itself to you. That's just the way I look at it. And it doesn't cost you anything. Is it free?
Yes.
No, it is not. There is nothing free in this world. Somebody paid for it. And your market center did, so that you could grow from it. So, it's at no cost to you. And I want you to take advantage and use that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Key fobs. Did everybody get their key fob exchange? Lovely. There's a rumor going around, big rumor, about Disney princesses and Prince Charming. Have y'all heard that? Well, they're all gonna be here October 31st.
Calm down, guys. Calm down.
I'm not saying which one the Prince Charming is, but they're all going to be here. So if you have kiddos, or if you want to come trick or treat, the market center is going to be all dressed up for the holiday, for Halloween. Bring your kiddos and trick or treat, and let's make some fun pictures. And I will try to be a princess that day. I'm not so good at that.
That's when you're the queen.
Queen of Hearts.
Oh,
That's what I'm
God.
going to be. Queen of Hearts. That's what I'm going to be.
Fairy godmother, fairy godmother.
I'm going to be the Queen of Hearts. I like that.
Off with their head.
Off with their heads. Okay. Stats presentation November the 1st I've already told you about. Regional Inspirational Breakfast. Did anyone in here get to go to that? You were there last year. It's November 16th. If you want, Andy, you were there. If you want to participate in that, would be awesome. Oh, you will want to write this date down. December the 7th. That is our Peachtree Road holiday party. And it is going to be at the venue, which is in right next door to Napoleon's.
The Vista?
The Vista. Same place we had it last year. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? And our very own Nancy Keenan and her husband own that. So we'll go there, and December the 13th. December the 13th, that's on Wednesday, is our annual cook-off and ornament swap, Dirty Santa. All the nice people play nice. Not so much. They steal. Demetria, what'd you win last year?
I won a trip to Maine, York, Maine, to stay in Robin's lovely home in York. We took the trip in June, so long story about how I won it, but I am grateful that I won it. And for those of you who were here last year, you know how I won it. And I am playing again this year, and I'm hoping that I select things that others want because I want to win it again. I swear to God, I want to win it again. It was a great trip.
Rumor has it that it might be behind door number 1 or door number 2.
Looking for clues.
Looking for clues this time. I gave it away last time, y'all didn't get it. It was the only bag that had a cat on it.
Oh, will it be a cat this year?
I'm not saying. But it doesn't have to be an ornament, it can be anything Christmas or anything fun. And we do play Dirty Santa, and we have a grand time. And the cook-off is before that, and there's great prizes for that. So bring your best dish, we'll have a sign-up sheet. We're not talking little prizes, we're talking hundreds of dollars of prizes. No, this is our cook-off here.
What kind of food is it?
We have category of appetizer. We provide the main
Entree.
thank you, and then side dishes and desserts. So it's fun, and you can enter in all three categories. You can enter in whatever you want, and then we vote. I've heard that there's bribes. It gets
Sarah.
ugly.
Sarah.
Sarah, why are they calling your name?
I'm not sure.
But we have the grandest of time, and there will be an appearance by someone that you will definitely want to see.
Thank you to whoever made the banana pudding last year.
Was that not the best?
And the root salad, so if you're still here.
That was really good.
That was really good.
I didn't have a bad day. It was all good. It was all good. But that's December 13th, so put that on your calendar. Yeah, I heard there will be a trip to Maine involved. December the 18th, I'm not sure the time on this yet, but I'm going to have my house open in early afternoon to evening for just some snacks and fun and fellowship. So open house at my house.
You said December, was it 18th?
18th.
Okay.
December 18th at my house. James.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Okay. One thing that I really want to be sure that everybody in this room and everybody out there in live stream world knows about is safety. It is our #1 priority here in the office. Don't ever put yourself in a situation where you feel like you might be in danger. We're working on putting together a full course on this, but I just want to give you a brief synopsis of some things that we have in place. #1, always try to meet here. If you're meeting somebody you don't know and you feel uncomfortable, meet them here. Try to get their ID so that you can match up with what you see versus what you get. Now, there's always no guarantees, but at least put this protocol in place so that you're limiting all opportunities of putting yourself in danger. If you are feeling uncomfortable, just a little, something doesn't quite feel right, get somebody on the phone. If I'm at an open house and I'm feeling like I'm in trouble, I might call Sarah Chattel. Hey, Sarah, it's James. I'm at 123 Main Street. I just wanted to check in, see how you're doing. Oh, great, you're going to come by? That sounds awesome. I can't wait to see you. So that lets somebody know somebody's on the way, and it doesn't prevent all things. But if you're really feeling like, I feel like I might be in danger, something is really, really off, and I want to take it to the next level, call somebody and say, hey, James, I'm at 123 Main Street and I completely forgot. Could you please bring the red folder? Okay, the red folder means call 911 and send them to this address, okay? So call staff, call myself, call Robin, call anybody in this room that has this message. We're trying to get this out so everybody hears it, but the red folder means call 911 and try to get the address, okay? Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Don't put a possible commission over your own safety, because if your safety is gone, guess what? You can't earn any more commissions. So please, 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 priority #1. Any thoughts on that? Robin?
I got in trouble with that one time. It was my first year in real estate. Someone wanted to see a house. It was a very expensive house out on the water in Chattanooga, and they answered all the questions correctly. I did the qualifying questions. I'm not an idiot. I did it right. And we got down to the last question, and I was telling her where to meet me at the office. And she said, oh, I really can't do that. My husband is, and I already knew this, we already talked about it, is actually interviewing, and he's downtown at Providence, and I don't have the rental car with me. Can you pick me up at the hotel? Well, do you have people interviewing from out of town that you pick up at the hotel? All the time. I knew where Provident was, it was downtown, and she told me where to pick her up, and the hotel did not match the position and the house. You get it?
Yeah.
The hotel was not the quality of hotel that I knew Provident would put someone in, and it was nowhere near Provident, and the hotel did not match the price of the home. It was a Super 8, okay? So that was my first clue that something was wrong. Everything else had been right. I told my broker, I don't feel good about this. And he said, have you already told her you would meet her? And stupid me, first year in real estate, hungry, said yes. And he said, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna follow you out there. There is a Waffle House in front of that hotel. It was one of those right off the interstate. You know, there's always a Waffle House in the hotel. So, long story short, I went to the hotel, told her we're gonna walk across here to the Waffle House and we're gonna look at the MLS book, because unfortunately, right before I left the office, my daughter's school called and said she was sick. Do I have a daughter?
No.
No. And I'm gonna have to go pick her up. But before I do that, I didn't want to let you down. Anyway, I took her over to the Waffle House. We looked at the MLS book for a few minutes and made an appointment to come back. Got back to the office, didn't feel good about it, called the hotel. Because, oh, by the way, she wasn't dressed appropriately for the position her husband was interviewing for. What you look like does matter. I don't care what anybody says. It was a clue. She was not dressed appropriately. I called the hotel and said, this is what happened. Can you tell me anything? And they said, yes, a church has paid for this couple to be in this hotel for 3 weeks. Okay, got it. So I called the police. Police asked me if I would go back and meet the lady the next day with them. We did. When the man realized, and I had someone else with me again, and when the man the lady walked out, the man walked out, when he realized I had someone else with me, he turned around to run, and the police got him, and they were a group of gypsies, part of a group of gypsies. That's the way the police described them, not me, that were coming up from Florida. They were coming up the I-75 corridor, and they had left a realtor for dead in Florida.
Oh my.
Now, what they were stealing was lockbox keys. Now, this is back before you had electronic lockbox keys.
Right.
I get it, I know. But the keys then turned and actually opened the box, and you got the key to the property. So if you stole the lockbox key, you had access to every property for sale. So that's what they were after. The red folder is just a word so that we as a staff know if you say that, you're in trouble. If you call 911, they're gonna hear you, right? If you call us and tell us you need the red folder at such and such address, we know where you are and we'll turn around and do that for you, and you don't alert.
Now, if you're going up to order red folders from Ashling at the front desk, she may not call the police, but just be careful how we're using that.
Yes, ma'am.
There's also an app called Be Safe that you can use if you're not able to like actually on the phone. But used to use it in New York, like you had Uber come pick you up and you just wanted to make sure that you got home safely. You can literally have it tracks your location every 10 seconds, and you just press a button and it sends it out to 6 people that you choose. I'm in trouble. Like,
Thank you.
Problem, I'm uncomfortable.
That's wonderful.
Call me. You know, it's just a button.
Be
Downloading
safe.
that now.
Be safe.
There's a lot of other apps too, but Be Safe is something I use.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, guys, it's easy to get into commission fog when you're thinking, oh, something's coming. And that commission fog can block out your intuition. So just try to think about, does this make sense? Is this right? And trust your judgment. You're smart people, okay? Any thoughts, questions on that? Okay, let's get to something fun. Let's talk about classes. There's nothing more fun than classes, so we're going to talk about October. Here are some opportunities that we have. October 19th, we have John Thompson. Is that tomorrow? Mm-hmm. Is John Thompson teaching a CE class, Code of Ethics, from 1 o'clock to 4:15. I'm telling you guys, this exhibits and amendments class that is coming up, I sat through Bill's class on Tuesday. It was powerful. And the exhibits and addenda class is really going to focus on the things that cost agents the most money, which is screwing up, A, in due diligence, B, in your financing contingency, and C, in the appraisal contingency. So please come. There's stuff that I am still learning every day. Please come learn with me. So Tuesday from 9 to 12, it's showing up as an Ignite class, which you are all always welcome to come to, but please make a point to show up for this one. We also have Jennifer Barnes teaching a 2-day course for an hour and a half each. First day she's teaching translating your value proposition into your pre-list kit. That is October 26th from 12:30 to 2. Lunch will be provided, hooray. And then the next day she's teaching same time, marketing your listings for maximum exposure. Jennifer Barnes is one of the best in this office, so please utilize these opportunities to learn from the best instead of trying to recreate the wheel.
She teaches these 2 classes with Kay Evans all over the region. So
Yeah.
we're very fortunate to have her.
Big time, baller shot caller, show up. November, pressing on.
Don't forget about October 25th.
Did I miss one? What I got?
October 24th.
Oh, did I skip one? No, yeah.
Gary Keller.
Oh yeah, same opportunity. In here, we're going to be teaching the exhibits and addenda class in the second training room. Every year during Mega Agent Camp, Gary Keller gives a full-long speech, essentially giving the breakdown of what the market is doing across the country. They're going to be doing a live stream. You probably have seen it in your email box, because I know you were all super attentive to it. But come join us. We're going to be live streaming it in this training room 2 in the expansion space. Does everybody know where that is? Okay. So if you're not in here, I would love for you to be over there.
And then in the afternoon,
Go ahead.
in the afternoon, Gary's going to be streaming all afternoon until 6 o'clock. We're going to take a lunch break, and then in the afternoon, they're going to be interviewing agents just like they do at Mega Camp. So it's in place of having Mega Camp. So it'll be live stream.
Yeah.
We'll get the links out to you as well in case you want to do it from wherever.
Robin,
Yes.
when I first started here in 2011, I got a piece of advice from John Mountain who told me, whenever Gary Keller speaks, be there. Be present and be there. So if he is going to be live streaming and you have an opportunity to be in his presence, even though it's live streaming, be there. Because he's one of the smartest men that I know, besides my husband. But anyway, I would say if you have an opportunity here, clear your schedule and be there.
Thank you for that. We'll
Now,
keep
what time
sending
is
that
that?
out to you. It starts at 10 Central Time, so I think it's 11 our time, and they're going to do Gary and Jay in the morning doing what they normally do, the state of the market, just like you were talking about. This affects that. Building prices affects this. They're going to be talking about that. And then in the afternoon, they're interviewing mega agents just like they do at Mega Camp. So it might be the best of the best who does geographical farming, or the best of the best who does open houses, whatever, and sharing all that with you. So we'll have that live streaming on that afternoon as well.
Good, thank you. Pressing on, November, we have the pleasure and privilege of having Claudine Ellis, who is a top producer in Virginia Beach, Virginia. She makes over $100,000 per year using Facebook alone. So she is going to be doing the same class on 2 separate days, so you can choose. She's going to be here on the evening of the 1st from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Dinner will be provided by these lovely gentlemen over here. And November 2nd From 9 to 12, same class, breakfast and lunch. So a small, very light breakfast and a lunch afterwards. I will be there. There is a $50 fee. She has not started, this is the first time we're marketing it here. She just started marketing it this morning, and there are 22 spots already filled up out of the 100. So get moving on that one.
James,
Yes?
Is there a link?
Yeah, it is on the calendar, and you can sign up there, as well as an email will be going out today, because we just got it locked down and firmed up.
Is that, you say that's in this office, or where is it?
It's going to be right here in this training room. Yeah, we make things so easy for you guys. What a
James, is
blessing.
that Jennifer Barnes' class here in this office as well?
It is.
Yes.
It is.
So there will be no team meeting that day then?
That is, let's see, did we get the right dates? Where did we talk about?
November 1st is a Wednesday, so.
It's
November
at
1st is at night,
Oh,
6 to 9.
sorry, my bad.
I was gonna say, yeah, we cancel
That's
team meeting.
stats.
We don't do that. Linda McKissick is going to be teaching career visioning. Has anybody taken career visioning in this room? Can somebody give me a brief synopsis of career visioning and what you got out of it? Got a bunch of shy people in this room. Sarah, thank you.
You're thinking very small if you think that your business is just here in Atlanta. That's my synopsis.
Good.
I mean, you can, the world is your oyster or your smorgasbord or whatever it is. You have an opportunity to have one person in where I grew up in Florida, and I came away thinking, gosh, I could have a person in my little town where I grew up in, and maybe one day I would want to go retire there, and she would have, or he would have started. Anyway, it's very mind expanding. I recommend it.
So she's talking about ESO, Expansion Systems Organization, which Justin Landis is doing ESO Light on the 9th. That's a powerful class. That is a class that will teach you how to get your...
That's not what, I'm sorry, I didn't say what you...
Yeah, is that right though?
That's what she was talking
Okay, good.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you. That is a great class to be sure that you have your hub straight, being sure that your business is in order so that you can expand exactly as Sarah perfectly explained to us. And Demetria?
Career visioning. Sorry. I actually took it in Chattanooga. Gene Rivers taught it when I took it. It taught me, what I got out of it is basically when you're ready for an assistant or when you're ready to bring on an additional person and what your expectations should be for that person. Like how your transactions should increase each time you bring a new body in. It teaches you about leverage and how the selection process of how to get the best person to put in that place.
Yeah, it teaches you, Rika.
The thing that amazed me about it was that one of the things they said, I actually went to Chattanooga too, and I can't remember the two guys that taught it, but they were hilarious. They were like comedy the whole time. And they said, if you are thinking about hiring an assistant, you're a year too late.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like you're supposed to be thinking about this, looking for people a year ahead of time.
You're not kidding.
And it's a huge process, so it's awesome.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So that is the opportunity where if you're thinking about growing your business, they will give you the pathway to make that happen. Linda is awesome, by the way. So anytime she's in town, I try to get in for that. So we talked about ESO. And oh my gosh, November 17th, you have an opportunity to spend all day with me? Are you kidding me? At no cost to you? That's unbelievable. So we're going to be going through the MREA Business Planning Clinic. We're going to teach you all of the methods that you can put into place to be sure that you have the best 2018 possible. So I can go into more depth, but we're running a little tight on time. Any questions, comments?
It's a lot of good classes.
Yeah, Business Planning Clinic, by the way,
classes.
right here. What a blessing.
Finish strong. Jane? Zach?
James Jr.
James Jr.
Everybody, we have some really big hearts in this room, and if you didn't already know, we actually adopted some grandparents in Houston who were completely devastated by Hurricane Harvey. And thank you to those of you who donated. We have 8 people who've donated. I think we can do a little bit better, and I can do a little bit better of getting the word out there. We've donated $800 out of our $10,000 goal. So I think we can do better, but thank you to those of you who did donate. Alyssa, can she send a link out?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to have Alyssa send a link to all of your emails. If you want to donate and you don't know how, You can just click on the link, it'll take you right there. The money's going straight into their bank account. So they've been devastated. They have a lot of bills that need to be paid. If you want to help, you can click that link. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is the connection to them again? The connection to them again is there is a young man who works in the video department of Foliage Realty International, and these are his grandparents. She is in a well, they're both in wheelchairs, and she, we paid for already, ever since the hurricane hit, for her to be in an assisted living, and their house is down to the studs in the walls, all appliances are ruined. They were able to save one bed, the bed frame, one of the bed frames, and one piece of the bedroom suite, like a dresser or a chest of drawers. Everything else, kitchen cabinets, everything has to go. All their clothes are gone, etc. So we've sent them some money for some clothes. We've got that taken care of, and we've paid for about 6 weeks of assisted living for her until we can get the house put back together. So we've committed $10,000 to them. We'll get it. I know we will. The Sandy Springs Market Center is going to partner with us, and the Bindings Market Center is going to partner with us.
And so I'm just out of curiosity, did they apply for a grant through
They did.
KW Cares?
And KW Cares gave them $5,000, which covered basically the first 2 or 3 weeks of the assisted living for her.
So the next question is, would our checks or contributions be tax deductible since they're going to the market, since they're going straight to those people?
Great question. And if you give through the website, it will not be tax deductible. If you give it to KW Cares, I can't guarantee it goes directly to them today. We do have a call into International to see if there's a way to earmark those funds, because as a market center, we've already sent over $20,000 to KW Cares. Can we earmark some of those funds? So I don't have an answer today, but soon.
Okay. I know we've all given through,
Yes, I totally agree.
To all the, now the fires and just a lot of good.
Okay, are you ready for Courtney?
Yes.
Yes. Let's get her on.
All right. Let's see if the magic of technology is going to work with us.
She had a closing today, so she couldn't be with us in person. She couldn't get from there to here in time. Oh, there's Bella.
My girl. Oh wait, we don't want to mobile her. We want to FaceTime this sweet, sweet lady. Here you go.
There she is. I see you. Can you hear us?
I can very well.
You are awesome. Thank you so much for spending time with us today, Courtney. I certainly appreciate it. We want to hear all things listings. So before you do that, please tell us kind of how long you've been in the business, what your path has been, and where you are now.
Okay, so this is my 15th year in the business. I have been, read the MRE very early on and I was very fortunate that I read that book early, and I kind of have used it as my business plan. Very much what I follow. I'm not all the other programs out there. I'm very much MREA. I follow that book. I keep it on my desk. I have, it's what we go off. All the business, the lead generation model, everything. And so I have a mega team. We do around 200 units a year, and this year we were on track to do about 4,200,000 units. Average sales price 1.250. I have a mega office in East Cobb and Marietta. I have one buyer's agent. We just brought on a second buyer's agent a month ago. So it's basically salespeople. I'm admin heavy. I have a sales manager, closing coordinator, a listing manager, and a runner on my team.
So that's basically my team in a nutshell. That is pretty awesome. So tell me, What does lead generation for listings look like for you, Courtney?
Well, I don't pay for any leads, and I think that's a common misconception. When you get to do 200 units, you have to pay to get there. So I don't do boom count, I don't pay for Zillow, I don't write a check to anybody else from out there
Like
because
it just opened.
the cheapest thing I could do, honestly, is pick up the phone and dial. So I call my sphere of influence, I call, I do circle prospecting, I call buyers, I call for sale by owner, I call, my strategic alliance partners, the people that, they're advocates for me out in the marketplace. Those are the folks that I get business from. I just had today one of my clients say, hey, I just referred you so-and-so. They, those are my people, and, I really lean on them to support my business, and I take good care of them. We do client events, and we do a top 100 program. I love on those folks.
So, how many listings do you think you're gonna take this year?
I will take 150 listings.
I love it! I love
So
it!
we're gonna have 150 signs and yards this year, of well-priced listings. We've already closed, I think 106, have closed, and I went on about 170 something appointments, I think. I think I gave you wrong numbers the other day, Ron.
Okay, so let me take you.
I went over them yesterday on my coaching call, and I was like, oh, I think I was off September's numbers, but it's okay.
Okay, so that, I have a question about a coach in a minute.
Yes.
But before we get there, I want you to put yourself back to your second, maybe third year of business.
Okay.
In your brain.
Yep.
What were you doing then, and how did you grow that?
Well, I was using, if you've ever heard the story of Garrett and his card box, I was using.
Oh, that's a good story. Tell them that story.
So I didn't know Gary did it till years later, but I used a card box because I'm a guy who sold furniture. That's what he did for a living. He sold furniture, and I kind of interrogated him when I first got started. I said, what do you do? And he goes, I have everybody on a call, follow-up. He said, no one is in my world that I've not met with. And at that time, he had a shoebox. And that's what Gary was, a shoebox. And everybody had a follow-up. So he didn't care if he was okay if you said, yeah, I'm not ready right now to buy something. But he'd go, okay, I'm going to follow up with you in 4 months or 6 months or whatever that was. And everybody was on a follow-up. To where he would pull for the day the index cards with all the information that he had taken, notes after notes. And that's what he would use to call his clients. So I started using that because I didn't know, of the top producers and E-Edge and all of the stuff that's available to for database management. So that's what I used for really my first 7 years in the business, with a card box. And that's what we would pull all of those out to do our mailers. We would pull all of those out to send emails. Like, it was what we used to communicate with our database. So that's what I was using. And we're so fortunate we're at a company that provides us, as part of being a member of that company, a database system. That's strongly Keller Williams believe in communicating and, being systematic. So I would tell any new agent, everybody in that system, we eventually went over to top her. And so that's what I use now. But if I had to get back out the edge, just go and trend the top producer that I just stick with old habit stuff hard.
Okay, so you contacted your database 2 and 3 years in the business, and you're still contacting your database.
I'm still contacting them, I'm still feeding it. You follow the model. It's communicate with it, it's feed it, it's, delete people that are just crap. I would get rid of people out of my database because if I'm like, I don't want to call them or I don't like the people, then I just delete. They're not somebody else. And it's funny that they end up popping up without me ever talking about 10 years, and they're like, oh, hey, can you come sell our house? Those are the ones that'll come back. Can't lose them. They're like a bad ex. And so I communicate, I go out, I add people to my database, because when I moved down here, I was from North Carolina, I had no one in Atlanta. So I would be waitresses, people at the gas station, for sale by owner. I went after investors, because I looked at investors like a professional seller. That's what they do, is buy houses and put them back on the market. And 10 years ago, I started working with an investor that will do about 50 to 60 transactions each year together. And it's just a relationship that I cultivated, and, he knows lots of real estate people, but I'm his person. So, find those people that you only have to build one really good relationship and you get a lot of that. Seek those people out. Like, who's going to do that own property that I can be in with to go find them more rentals or sell the ones that are a headache and help them go find new ones.
Okay, so that brings up another question that I have. When you came to Atlanta, you knew no one and you started directly into real estate.
Yep. So I was getting my MBA the first year of real estate. So a lot of my clients, I paid for my MBA with people from real estate because I sell them houses. We have 2 sorority sisters that lived in Atlanta. So I leaned on them to introduce me to people and their family and people like that. And then it was a lot of cold calling. It was a lot of, hey, I'm Courtney Newton, I don't have a lot of listings. I want to do right by you for listing. Let's work together. You're not my client. I have nothing to do to get this listing sold. A lot of expireds, and it was honing scripts. I was good at expireds for sale by owner and my listing presentation.
Say that one more time, because you kind of broke up there.
I focused on expireds for sale by owners and my listing presentation. I would practice it. If I didn't have an appointment, I practiced listing presentation every single day. Understanding the market comp, I would price properties. Like if my client looked at a house and they were like, I felt like it was a little high, I'd do a CMA for them. I would do a CMA 2 times a day, because now I can run through a CMA in 5 minutes and figure out right.
That's pretty awesome. So I want to go back to the scripts part. Do you practice scripts then? What do you do now?
I still practice. It's the game doesn't change. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the same things. I still make calls every day. I'm still trying to get a listing or intending on getting a listing appointment every day, do a day. I'm still practicing my listing presentation when with something like markets now. I'm still paying attention to the stats when it's pricing and what the markets go. It doesn't matter if you're a mega or if you're brand new. We're all doing the things. It's just, what is your skill?
Okay, so what is your skill level? Did y'all get that? Mm-hmm. To get to the mega stage like Courtney, your skill level needs to be high. You agree? Yes.
Yeah. You got to get 7+, I would say, to get to to get those appointments that are going to get you the listings, that'll get you the closings.
How many times do you get told no a day?
Well, my minimum on my team, my minimum standard is 20 contacts a day here. So my team's putting up between 100 and 120 contacts a week. And, I'm going on a 4 to 6 listing appointments a week. So that, do the math. I'm getting told no about 100+ times a week.
How does that?
It's rough.
Thank you for being honest.
Down.
Thank you. Thank you for being honest, because it's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not easy. And, sometimes you just got to look at those noses. All right, next toad, here we go.
So you're kissing frogs?
I'm kissing a lot of frogs. I'm kissing frogs, grasshoppers, anything. Appointment.
Okay, so I know somebody in the room has this question, and I just have the floor right now, so I get to ask it. When you get told no over 100 times a week, how do you mentally pick up that phone one more time? What do you feed your mind? How do you re-engage? Because some people, they get told no 2 times and they're done.
Get over yourself. This game is not for the weak of heart, and that's the way I look at it. It's a game. Last night basketball started up, and I can assure you LeBron James misses a lot of free throws, but I guarantee you he's missed more than he's ever made, but the reason he's so good is because he's attempted it. He's thrown, thousands of free throws a day so that he can make the ones when it's clutch or make the shot when it's clutch. So you got to get over yourself, get out of your way, and you have to have a goal that's bigger than you. Like for me, real estate isn't, don't get me wrong, I'm very proud of my team at 200 transactions a year. I'm very proud of that. At the end of the day, though, I know that real estate is funding a bigger life for me elsewhere. So that's where I get okay with the no's is, I bought a rental property today. I'll proudly say it's my 18th rental property that I've purchased.
That's awesome.
I'm a big proponent in agents buying real estate because that's what we know. So, I look at real estate as it funds my rental properties that right now, and that was always my goal because we talked about this early on, was in real estate, the Millionaire Real Estate Investor came out about 3 or 4 years after MRA. They talked about that, and I set a goal for myself to be able to pay my mortgage with mailbox money, then to be able to replace my salary with mailbox money. Now it's what can I do with that money to help other people's lives. And that's the way I look at real estate. So if you've got a big enough goal, if it's funding your kids' education, if it's going on an amazing vacation, you'll get those no's and you'll get there even faster and with more tenacity than if you're just making it because you want to say you did 100 transactions or you're a millionaire real estate agent.
So you have a big why?
I have a very big why, yeah, absolutely.
So tell me what is mailbox money? You had a goal of paying your mortgage with mailbox money, then paying your salary with mailbox money, and then the next step was paying, what was the third one?
Right now I'm having to help, I'm a kid kryptonite, so I have children in my world that I want to be able to allow them to do very great things, whether it's swim lessons or go have break or put towards their college or whatever it is that they need. So I have my little Coco's kit that I do stuff for, and that I'm working towards, and funding other things for other charities that I'm part of.
Perfect. So what is mailbox money?
Mailbox money is profit share is huge. I participate in profit at a high level. Mo Anderson 4 or 5 years ago said it as quickly as possible in your first line. So that was my goal, get 15 as quickly as possible. Now I'm working on 25. So, mailbox money is that money that just shows up whether or not I go sell a house.
So
that's the goal.
So that's your rental income and your profit share income.
Yeah. That money that just shows up that I don't have to necessarily do anything to create other than plant those seeds.
I kind of like that house in Blue Ridge. You've been renting that one out?
I have. That was one of my investments that I purchased this year. Is I bought a cabin up in the mountains, and it's a rental, and it's a place that I get to use, and I earned that right because I got told no 100+ times a week, and I was okay with it.
Oh my gosh! Say that one more time.
I earned the right to get to have that cabin because I was okay with being told no 100+ times a week. And that's the way you have to look at it.
I was okay with being told no 100+ times, and that's why I get to have that cabin.
Well, it's that old saying, it's not no, it's not now. So when I hang up with them, I go, okay, that's cool if it's not now. I'll follow up in 4 months, 6 months, a year. I mean, I have some people that I follow up with every 6 months that they're 5 years out, but I'm okay with it because I want to be there if that plan changes or something happens. Because, we make plans and God laughs, and that 5-year plan might turn into 5 months. But I'm going to be there when they're ready to do it.
You'll be the only realtor they think of when the time comes.
That's what that's the goal. It doesn't always happen, but it's highly likely.
What systems have you created around listings? Because that's a lot of listing appointments for one girl to take.
It is. Well, I'm very fortunate. I've earned the right by being told no enough that I have a listing manager, marketing manager, that I give the files to. She creates all my listing paperwork. I do my own CMAs. And then once I get them signed, she takes the ball from the time the listing agreement's signed till it goes under contract and does my weekly updates. She does the marketing for it, schedules pictures, stickers, all of that kind of stuff. And that's just being able to, you know, go out and get good talent so that I can focus on what I'm good at, which is going on appointments, lead generating for those appointments, and negotiating contracts.
So you're good at getting told no.
I'm really good at getting told no. Look, just ask my mama; she'll tell you. All she told me was from the time I was a baby. No.
I love it. I have a couple more questions, but I wanted to ask the audience. Do you all have any questions for Courtney?
How does she maintain her energy? Because that's.
How do you maintain your energy?
Well, I buy an unsweet tea. And this lasts me all day. I'm not joking. That is every morning. Like, if I look at my budget and I go, where am I really wasting money? I sometimes think that, and then I'm like, no, that's the right place. I mean, you have to have, so gratitude gives you joy, gives you energy. And I'm a big believer in being grateful. I'm grateful for, I have wonderful people in my life. I have wonderful people that I work with. I'm very blessed that, you know, I've been able to do what I do and have what I have. And I think coming from a place of gratitude every morning and really looking at what you have and really appreciate, you know, the things that are coming your way and not dwelling on those negatives will change everything. Because you know, we all know those people that come from a, you know, oh, things get better, complainers, or just that victim mentality. And I'm very thankful for everything that comes my way, and that feeds into my business and other aspects of my life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What other questions? Oh, come on. You've got a magnitude caliber agent here. What do you want to know from her?
What does her listing presentation look like? Is she using, you know, the one that we have on file? Does she create something?
Okay.
Totally.
This question is from Kenya Green. You know Kenya. She said, what does your listing presentation look like? Is it the one that's provided on eEdge, or is it something you created? Is it a folder? Is it a bound? What does it look like?
It's really, we're doing a pricing consultation, because here's what I know. Every house will sell at some price. I just have to figure out and educate the seller to what that price looks like. So it's really a very serious pricing consultation. I tell them up front, suffice it to say, we're going to market your house. But at the end of the day, if I overprice the house, it's not going to sell. So you've got to figure out where is that sweet spot in the market that makes sense, that we can create a work price that is going to cause multiple buyers to go, this is my house at this price. And I'm going to pay for a stager. I'm going to pay for the professional photographer. You know, we're going to do the things that need to happen to get buyers interested. But if we don't have the price right, I don't care what we do. If I pay a guy or free, it ain't gonna sell. So we've got to get the price right. It's really more of a price consultation.
Hey, Courtney.
And then I do, and this, yes.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The biggest thing that I would tell agents is give them a net to them. Like, I learned from a guy that sells a ton of cars. He said, I have to give them a drive-out price, and that's why he was successful. Is here's the number it's going to take to buy this house. So I do here's a number you're going to expect to get that I would expect you to sign contract price, and it's a net. And it's after commission, it's after what I expect them. And include cost, I include their mortgage in it, and I'm like, if I have an offer that are you willing to accept it? And they go, well, we'd like to see 70, and I go, well, where do you think you can find that extra 5,000 or whatever it is? And they go, well, we can't because we got to pay closing. I go, we can always negotiate that. It's a work case, but this is a realistic expectation. And I talk to them. Okay, so when you call them and you've got an offer 55, that's net to them. That's what they need to hear. You don't have to go through, you're paying 7 and close or whatever. It's your net's going to be this number. And when they hear that, they go, yeah, that sounds good. I can do that.
What does that conversation look like because I know you're very strong. It's one of the things I adore about you. And then you flash that smile that makes you look so sweet, but you're very strong. And I can't imagine you backing up from that conversation when you know you have that number right in your head. Sometimes, would you agree that when we are young in the business, we're a little bit nervous about being that strong? So what does that conversation look like?
Well, I think you're coming from a place of, I want to help you and your family make a good, educated financial decision. And this house is probably their greatest asset. And if you hire the wrong person, then that educated decision may not go like you expected. And heaven knows, $5,000 or $10,000 put in the wrong direction could cause a problem further down the road for you. So we're going to sit down and we're going to do the math. I asked them to get a payoff before I say, please make you know how much mortgage. So when we're talking true and accurate numbers. It's not just pie in the sky. And when they have that number, they try out of the gate. So for agent, you just got to sit and say to them, this is the question. Can you sell the house at a price that makes your family? And it may not. Believe me, I've been on 70 more appointments, which drives my coach crazy. 70 more appointments than I've actually taken agreements. I also know that some of those I walked away from because it wasn't the right time for them. It financially doesn't make sense, and it's better for them to wait 6 months or a year. And the client for life, really advising them on trying to sell their.
Got it. So you go in a more advisory capacity.
We're having a conversation.
Got it.
Just makes sense. Just like you're sitting down with your financial advisor. I sell this portfolio of stuff.
Got it.
No different.
Okay, so I'm almost double your age, and so I've earned the right to ask you this question. How old were you when you started?
22.
How old? 22.
A lot.
And she's been in business 15 years.
Wow.
And she owns 18 rental properties. She makes, she's an MREA agent, so her team generates over $1 million a year. And my favorite part is she gets told no 100 times a week.
I do.
That is pretty awesome. Yes.
My
Nicole.
question is now, since I know that she was 22, that means she kind of started out on a low budget, because at 22.
Very low.
So I want to know, besides doing your calls and everything like that, what was your other way of marketing on a low budget?
Well, I did.
There you
I
go.
said just cards was the only thing I could afford, and I printed them up. I printed them out on a inkjet printer and labeled and addressed them myself because I was cheap and I had no money. And that's all I did was just call the neighborhood, and that's all I did for a year.
What was it that she said she broke up?
Just sold cards in the neighborhood, and she printed them out on an inkjet printer and hand addressed them because she could not afford to have them printed.
She was cheap because she had to be cheap.
Because she had to be cheap.
Because, and please, in my first year in real estate, I worked at Victoria's Secret part-time, and I practiced my script selling lotion and bras.
That puts everything in perspective.
Now, let me ask you one thing,
Look,
Courtney.
a good foundation on a house and a bra. So.
There you go.
What has changed? Oh, there you go. Bye, Courtney. Now that you are an MREA agent, how are you spending your money now? What bells and whistles are you spending your money on now?
Well, I mean, we do a farm. That's a big piece of it. I spend money on a farm because that's part of the project. I don't do just sold cards. I'm just not on an inkjet. We use express copy. My team's very thankful. We do appreciation parties, but we're running business, and like I said earlier, funds of things. So we're using the money being made to do other things. I've earned the right to have those added because I've earned the right to have a buyer's agent, because if I'm not doing my job as a listing agent, the leads aren't coming in for her buyer's agent. So I pay attention to that. I make those calls because, 6 other people that depend on you to pick up the phone every day. I don't, like I said, I don't pay for any leads. I mean, my goal, because MREA, if y'all are reading it, depending on what level you're on, is a 39 to 40% profit margin. I'm not there. I'm at percent. And I'm always working ways to try to trim the way I can. I know the new model and out of 35%, so that makes me go.
So Courtney, you're breaking up a little bit on our end, but essentially what I'm getting is that you're staying to the budget and you're staying below the pricing. So essentially you did exactly the same thing you did on day one, you've just scaled it up. You've just scaled it up.
Just have
Okay, here's a question. We're live streaming this, Courtney. So all of our, we have a question from live stream. How did you determine your niche? Did you assess the things that you were good at, or did you focus on what was needed in the real estate market, or did you combine the two?
Well, one of my big places was short sales. So where the and that was foreclosures and short sales, and I got really good at working with that purpose and going where it was when the market changed.
Go where the business is when the market changes.
Listings have always, because I can work on a weekend. I'm going to the Bahamas tomorrow for days. I could work for listings while I'm gone. I can't hire as easily. So I focus on, because listings are leverage. There's no other way to put it. You can leverage your life. I can have 100 listings, but I don't think I could do a fire. I don't think that's possible at one time.
Got it.
So it's listings, and it was the area that I live, and I gradually have expanded like count, but it started with 6, 7, and gradually built.
Okay, Courtney, we thank you so much for spending time with us here at Peachtree Road. You are awesome. And I don't know how any seller could turn down that amazing smile.
Thank you. They do.
Well, they're big dummies.
They are.
They're big dummies. Thank you so much for making our team meeting so special. Bye-bye. Any questions?
Hi, Erin.
Erin was feeding us the questions from the live feed. What did you get from that real quick before we disperse? Was that an encouragement to anybody?
Yes.
Kenya, what did you get, dear?
I mean, the 100 no's. That's what I was saying. A mega millionaire. I mean, so it's like, like you said, get over yourself.
When she connected that I've earned my cabin in the mountains because I got told no 100 times, that was like, oh, I got it now. I can withstand that. Yeah, that is huge. Because how many times did we get told no and we go curl up like one of those little bugs, we just go back in our shell. She just goes next.
I like the, it's no doesn't mean no, it means not now.
Right. You know what, I've said this too, I love that. No doesn't mean no, it means not now. Sometimes when people tell you no, it's because they don't know enough yet.
Oh, I like that.
You were real slick with that one, Robin.
Well, and you know what else, if I really want to be slick? It's because they haven't met KW yet. I think Courtney's energy contributes to her success. And I think her energy comes from, she's okay with being told no, because she knows what it takes to get a yes. And she's going to get one. She's not going to be defeated by how many no's she gets told, correct? Would you agree with that? Would you get in her way? I would. I love her. And she has a huge big why. If you follow her on Facebook, you'll see her out with some of those children she mentors, and that's where she pours back in. See, I want to say this last thing to you, and I know we're over, and I'm so grateful that you all just let me take up your time. The first part of your life, you're working for success. You're acquiring things. You're getting, the house, the furniture, you're building those things. Second part of your life, you're looking for significance. Trust me.
Yes.
And that Seth Campbell talk last week just really drilled that home for me. But what if you went for significance earlier?
Oh, life would be so
How would
different.
the world change because you went for significance earlier? Everything would change in you and in the world. So that's my challenge to you now. What are you passionate about? When I say what's your why, it's like that guy on Pretty Woman. What's your dream? What's your dream? Remember, it's right at the front and at the end. What is your dream? What legacy do you want to live? Whose lives can you change? Because as it says on the front of the real estate book, that red book we come read, it says it's not about the money, it's what?
Not what you can do with it.
It's about being the best you can be. And then when you become the best you can be, you do things differently with money. Because it's not all about you anymore. It's not all about you anymore. So I want to challenge you to think about the legacy that you're leaving. When Ben Kinney said he left Houston thinking he needed to make more money, that got me. And he said, and I'm thinking, oh man, if he used it for toilet paper for the rest of his life, he couldn't use it up. But he needed to make more money because he left people there who couldn't pay him money. What are we? Who gave us the right to not do all we can do and to do all we can do? That spoke to me. We're blessed people. We're blessed people. So I want you to think about the difference between success and significance. And I don't know about you, but I want to go toward that significance and that legacy faster. Faster. Because if she can do it in 15 years and she's only 33, what is her legacy going to be? So she's 37. Yeah, 5 years. What's 5 years? She did it in 33.
Yeah. Right.
But she's been living it. She's been living it for 5 years already.
Yeah.
Who are we? Who gave us the right to not be all we can be? Just saying, love y'all.